Hey, thanks for tuning in, and I want to share a midweek message with you. I've been reading this book, Leadership in Turbulent Times. It was recommended by Skye Jethani, one of my favorite Christian authors and thinkers. And the book profiles some of our presidents who led during difficult times. And I'm just about 65 pages in. So far, I've been reading about Abraham Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt and FDR, and particularly like their young adult, teenage, growing up years. And there's one thing, striking thing, that all three of them have in common that as I looked at this, it just kind of inspired me. And the thing that all three had in common was this habit of curiosity. They were all highly curious people, always seeking knowledge and asking questions and looking for understanding. And you know, this world's so complex, and so their curiosity helped bring simplicity in the mix of complexity. It made me think of another book that I read years ago called Jesus is the Question, the 307 questions that Jesus asked and the 3 that he answered. And the premise of the book is that Jesus was always asking questions, and as you read the Gospels, he asked way more questions than he gave answers, because he also had this habit of curiosity in his life. We see this in Luke chapter 2. Jesus is 12 years old. His parents take him to Jerusalem, and they go to the temple. And then they head home, and they're a couple days in their journey back to Galilee, and they ask, "Where's Jesus? Where did he go? Where's he at?" And they realize he's not with us, and so they head back to Jerusalem and go back to the temple, and they find Jesus. And apparently for the last 3 days, Jesus has been in the temple courts. He's been asking questions and learning. In fact, Luke 2:46 says, after 3 days, they found him in the temple courts, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. I love this. Jesus, too, was so curious. He was always asking questions. And Jesus came to show us not only the way to salvation and to offer forgiveness and reconciliation between us and God and the world, but he came to show us how to be truly human, and to be human and to maximize everything that God's given us is to be developing this habit of curiosity where we're learning and we're growing. Which makes me think of another book, you guys can hear about all my books, that I read a few years ago called H3 Leadership, Humble, Hungry, Hustle. And it has a chapter on developing the habit of curiosity in your life. And some of the things that it says to do, which I've done in my life, is well, first starting with reading. And really, I believe that if I'm not reading, I'm not learning. If I'm not learning, I'm not growing. And if I'm not growing, I can't lead others to be growing. And so I'm constantly reading and trying to read in genres I don't normally read in, and trying to kind of pull things together as I learn, as I'm curious. And some of the other things it recommends is develop like a routine of getting together with people that are not like you, that are different than you, that you can ask questions and you can learn from. Sometimes I'll set up like a learning lunch where I'll just meet with someone and I'll just kind of pick their brain, someone I can learn from who knows some things that I don't know. Or sometimes it's just watching a documentary or digging into a subject and just researching it and learning it. This last week I've been learning about dryers because I've been fixing my dryer at my house. And so I've become curious about how dryers work. I'm learning some things that I'd rather not learn, to be honest. But we see this in these great leaders throughout history and ultimately in Jesus, this habit of curiosity. And so I want to encourage you to develop a habit of curiosity in your life. If you want to be the type of person who makes a difference in this world, ultimately for Jesus and for his kingdom, then become a curious person. Become someone who asks questions. Become someone who learns and who isn't okay with just remaining the same. Develop a habit of curiosity. So I encourage you to do that. This Sunday, we're going to be having an in-person service again, but outdoors here at 10:30 at Price Chapel. So come, bring your lawn chair. We'll provide you a chair. I heard the rumor there might be water balloons. It's going to be a fun service as we celebrate together Pentecost Sunday, which we read about in Acts 2, where the Holy Spirit descends upon the church. We need the Holy Spirit, the Spirit that I believe is also a spirit of curiosity and wisdom and knowledge. And so join us this Sunday. I pray that you may have a great week and that God's presence would be with you.